Welcome to the Right to Reason podcast. I'm your host, Robert Stanley. Wrapping up the end of the year, I thought we'd have some laughs with a prank on our friend Brent Lee. Jason Hannerfeld and Javier join us to flip the script on him. The plan is Brent selects clips from Javier's podcast for us to make fun of. But what he doesn't know is that we're actually all going to play clips from his podcast and make fun of him. The problem is that the whole conversation turns from this.
Sound like, please listen to my podcast.
Please. I'm so desperate. Into this.
I'm saying it's going to fucking happen when police are shooting people in the fucking street.
You don't give a fuck that they're doing.
Fucking problem.
Mass murders happen all over the country for various gang violence and all of this shit.
No, I can't fucking do that.
I expect you to care enough to disagree with the looting and the rioting and the fucking
We just did.
property damage.
I'm going to play you the angry part first because I know that's what you want to hear right away. But then I'm going to reverse time and play you how it all began. Try to keep up because this might get a little confusing if you miss anything.
It's the Right to Reason podcast.
This episode of the Right to Reason podcast is brought to you by our patrons and contributors like me. We have all recognized the value of the unrestrained marketplace of ideas and have decided to make a difference. You can make a difference too. Contribute at patreon.com/right and learn more about your right to reason at therighttoreason.com. Your activism is appreciated.
I am not on your team. Because if this is what you're asking me to fucking fight for, this corporate bullshit, this bait and switch.
Especially because of everything that happened during the Antifa and Black Lives Matter, and just the way, part of me, I'm down with a little authoritarianism, man, because these people need to get under control. You can't, it's like it's all of this energy about, police and just regular people. There were plenty of people out there protesting that were perfectly fine, but then at night, especially at night, is when the crazies came out. The white supremacists who were, bashing stuff to make black people look bad. And just fucking the shit that was going on, in places where, like, dude, I watched a video and it must have been like, dude, it was like literally a town of black people robbing a fucking train, and the train starts to move and they're throwing TVs off the train at each other. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Where are the police?
Who cares?
Where's the authority? This isn't protesting,
But why do you? Okay, that's not like, protesting.
whoa,
but
I'm with Robert.
I don't get upset if I see them.
I'm sure
destroying like a small business for sure. Like that's bullshit. Like I saw that one video of it was actually a black owned business and they were destroying it, and the person standing out there going like, what the fuck? What is this? This has nothing to do with Black Lives Matter, obviously. I'm with you there. Or if they try to go into the suburbs, motherfucker, you're making a mistake there.
Yeah,
you're making a big fucking mistake. But you want to smash a Starbucks window or steal TVs from Walmart? I don't give a shit.
No, you should.
Yeah, you should.
Why?
Because
Why?
you know what, man? A lot of that Walmart, I guarantee you, is got at least 30, 40 people on its payroll from that community.
That can't afford to eat.
Better, but they refuse to.
Because Walmart has insurance.
They're fucking
isn't
billionaires.
Because
Like,
Walmart
they're
has
fine.
insurance isn't an excuse for you to fucking turn into a fucking anarchist.
Look, I'm not trying to sit here. I'm saying that like these type of things happen when police murder people in the street. The more that the police murder people in the street, this shit's gonna happen, and it's not okay. And that's sort of the point, to get people to not to them to take responsibility.
No.
Oh my goodness! How about they come burn your house down?
Yeah.
Loot your house, and then you just stand outside and say, "Well, these things happen."
That's
why I would be like, we need to fix the actual problem, which is police fucking killing people.
But
because
that's the
my house
police
wouldn't get
problem.
burned if
That's
they
not
weren't doing that
Walmart's problem.
shit.
That's not Walmart's problem. That's not Starbucks' problem. They have nothing to do with the policing. They have nothing to do with what happened to George Floyd.
But that it gets people to listen. That's the point.
Okay, but
I'm just saying that's an extension of the process of getting people to
totally
listen.
Disregard whatever it is you're trying to protest against. You think I want to listen to somebody that's robbing stores, stealing TV, and damaging property? You think I want to hear whatever the fuck excuse they're going to come up with to justify their actions because a cop is killing somebody?
That was just my point. I'm just saying people take advantage of the anarchy. Okay,
right.
People take advantage of the anarchy, and that's not okay. I'm not saying that that's the right thing to do. I'm just saying it's going to fucking happen when police are shooting people in the fucking street.
Yeah, but again, you don't give a fuck that they're doing.
Fix the fucking problem, and then that shit will stop. It's simple.
And it's not even like he's not supporting it. He's not supporting it. He's saying this is going to happen whenever you let things get crazy. Then you're going to have to deal with fucking crazy. It's not like we're saying we support the violence or anything like that. Of course not. But
I'm going to quote a line from fucking Star Trek, The Wrath of Khan.
Great movie.
And like a poor marksman, you keep missing the fucking mark.
The target.
Stop fucking destroying everything else around you and go and focus all of that attention and power and angst on the fucking actual problem.
Okay.
Do you want me to go to all the fucking homeless people in every area where a cop has killed somebody and explain to them, hey, man, you're kind of really hurting our cause here and you really need some
what I expect you to do...
No, I can't fucking do that.
I expect you to care enough to disagree with the looting and the rioting and the fucking property damage.
We just did. We just don't care about like the corporate-y shit. You want to smash up a JCPenney? I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit.
Why don't you care about
people are dying? Like, people are dying. And you're worried about fucking property? I don't give a fuck about the goddamn property. Stop the fucking people from dying.
Let's break this down. Where are all the fucking rioting and looting when mass murders happen all over the country for various gang violence and all of this shit? Where the hundreds of thousands of people who die?
We don't pay mass shooters to do that.
That's a whataboutism.
We don't pay them.
That's a whataboutism.
Don't go to mass shooters, man, and hold them to a higher responsibility.
Do you know how many shootings happen and compared to how many police interactions happen every year?
Yeah, I mean, seriously,
you're going to blame every single corporation and attack them for the very small fraction of police officers who do the wrong thing compared to how many do the right thing?
I think the whole defund the police thing, is not the best message because it's
bizarre is what it is.
Yeah, but and of course you don't want to actually get rid of the police, but the idea of let's redistribute funding in a way that would lower violence, that's totally reasonable. But this isn't an anti-cop thing. It might be within like certain factions here and there, but the overall idea is just saying Black Lives Matter. And all these other things you want to talk about, gang violence or this or that, those are all whataboutisms to get us off of the actual topic.
No, it's not about Black Lives Matter. It's about police killing Black lives. Because if it was just about Black Lives Matter, there are so many Black people dying from so many other problems that outweigh police killings of Black people. So to say Black Lives Matter, that's actually missing the mark.
They're out there harassing people and arresting them for bullshit, perpetuating the problem. Because you know how easy it is to get a job after you've fucking been arrested for some bullshit? It's not that easy. So guess what? Like all these people, they create crime. Because what are you going to do when you can't get a job? Your kids are going to get fed one way or a fucking another.
Look, I agree with you. The war on drugs and all of this crap and the mandatory minimums and all of that stuff in the system needs to be changed. I 100% agree with you. But what we should never do is make excuses for people committing crimes. Even if they have a good excuse, you should never give them that excuse. And the reason you should never do that is because there are so many people who are good people in those same situations who choose to do different.
Exactly.
I mean, I'd agree. You know who the people are that are turning in most of the people that are destroying buildings and breaking shit? It's the protesters. We're out there. We're turning these fucking people in because we're like, hey, fucking, what are you doing? Hey, stop.
Can I ask you a question, Javier? Is there one argument that you've made in this conversation that initially was just all of us laughing, but now we're all angry? What happened? Anyway, but seriously though, like all joking aside, was there one argument that you made about this movement that couldn't have been made about the last civil rights movement?
For the most part, the movements that happened in the last civil rights movement, the most successful ones were the nonviolent ones. There were riots, just like when Martin Luther King was killed, there were riots. When the Rodney King happened, there were riots. But after studying these things for a long time, you notice that it actually hurt the black community more when things turned violent, because companies and jobs got up and moved out of the area, which we are affected to this day by, because these neighborhoods are living in poverty because they don't have any corporations or companies who want to do business in their area because they're afraid of the rioting and looting.
Right. Okay. So the same prerequisite that you and Jason require from Brent and I, that we have to start with saying, hey, listen, we love the cops. Hey, no, we're not for violence. We don't want rioting. We don't want looting. But all that said, we do need to focus on the movement, right? Why don't you guys have that same prerequisite whenever you say this and go, hey, look, we're actually for this. We just don't like the bad stuff, because that would be the only intellectually consistent way to talk about this movement without ignoring the last one.
I did that. I completely gave you the fact that the war on drugs and the way the system is working, I laid out all of that they need to be changed and they need to be looked at and things need to change. I 100% agree with you on that prerequisite.
But couldn't you see that, like, maybe it's because of the over-policing and then saying that these areas are high crime areas because they're arresting so many people for fucking jaywalking and shit, creating this sort of like cycle of criminal behavior because of that, and that's why corporations don't want to go there? You couldn't so like actually the police would be sort of the main problem?
Well, okay, if what you say is true, then it wouldn't reflect that, for example, young black men between certain ages commit a vast majority of the violent crimes in America. You can't just blame that on over-policing.
So what do we blame it on? Black people are just more violent? Because that's kind of that can't possibly be the case.
Because well, that's a straw man. It can't be, because black people who come from different parts of the world do not behave in the same sense that black people who grow up in America do. It's partially due to some of the injustices done to black people in the situation we find ourselves in, but it's also a culture thing. We glorify violence. We glorify drugs in our community. Look at hip hop music. Look at the no snitching policy in the black community. There are the education that we value education differently. It's a culture thing. It's not genetics.
But when the police have already done this stuff and already created this environment, isn't that just more of a reflection of self and just an honest reflection of their existence?
I agree.
No, because not all police officers are that way. I mean, come on. You honestly can't believe that for a second. You honestly can't believe that every police officer in the hood is a racist fucking,
It doesn't take every officer. It doesn't need every officer to do that.
It doesn't take every officer, but a lot of the stuff that you're saying, I mean, Javier's, I'm sorry, but Javier's got you there with the whole culture thing, especially with education. Education is if you're a black student and you're doing well, I mean, your own friends will dog you out for being smart.
Your conclusion that you're trying to get to is black culture bad.
Yeah,
yes, that's what they're saying. And
that's not right.
There are aspects of it that are. Just like there are aspects of every culture that are bad.
Exactly. Pointing that out doesn't negate that other cultures have bad aspects as well. We're not saying that black people are unique in having bad people in it because of due to culture. No one's saying that.
But you're saying that they promote it.
There is a part of the black culture that promotes those things.
And you're using it as an argument to taint an entire community and where they live.
Not at all. Not at all. Yeah, exactly. Only part of that community. But you hear about that part of the community. Why? Because in order to deal with the ramping violence in the community has to get more police.
So that's what happened. But here's why. And today we're cracking on Javier. Javier, are you ready for this, brother?
Man, always, man.
You do not sound excited about this wonderful opportunity for Brent to crack on you.
You gotta bring his A.
We're gonna see if he did. I haven't listened to his video clips yet, Brent. I'm sorry, I should have in advance. I am a lazy human, but I'm looking forward to hearing him. We're also joined, as you already know, with Brent Lee from Unapologetics Podcast. How you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Fantastic. Jason Hannerfeld, what's up, brother?
Hey, what's going on, man?
It's going. If anybody wants to check out the Javier Show, that's on YouTube. Is that correct, sir?
Yep, you are correct.
Oh my God, this guy sounds low as fuck. He is not looking forward to this shit.
Loosen up. It's okay. We're gonna have fun.
We're gonna have fun making fun of you.
Good luck.
All right. Well, here's Brent. I'm gonna play your first clip. Did you want to intro it, or do you just want me to play it?
Just play it, because honestly, I was pretty drunk when I did it. Okay, so just go ahead and play it.
All right.
All right. Now, this is not me beating up on the right. There are people on the left who probably voted for Donald Trump who think the same thing. There are people who just think conspiratorial, but I just don't understand it.
Who?
What?
Who is on the left voting for Donald Trump?
I didn't.
I want to know these people. I want to talk to them.
I didn't understand that clip that you sent, Brett. Explain that. I missed something.
No, you just said there's people on the left that are proudly voting for Donald Trump, and I just thought that was odd. I want to meet these people.
I use the word proudly, but I do know people who identify as liberals. For example, Dave Rubin considers himself a classical liberal.
Classical
He's
liberal.
not technically left?
Yeah, I mean, Dave
I don't know.
Rubin's not left.
Finding these clips was hard. Okay, it wasn't. I'm serious. It wasn't
No, I mean, okay.
Sean Yankee. I can fucking pull from anything. Like this is, it's
For the
I was like hours doing this.
For the record, Sean Yankee was the first choice, and he backed out. So we decided to go with Javier.
Yeah, plus Javier is delightful. God damn, I'm fucking this all up. Okay,
He's juicy. Jason, do you know who Sean Yankee is?
I believe so.
Is that I think you did an episode with it. It was like a conspiracy one or something.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Or I think it was about a racist comedy, maybe.
Right.
Oh yeah, the comedy episode. He was on that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got mad. He got fucking pissed. He did not like. Who was that? Amy with a Y that was on. Yeah. Okay. Well, okay. First clip was a dud, but let me try the second one.
Another problem that I have with Candace Owens is sometimes it seems like she's willing to go with a narrative without fully understanding an issue.
I just want to pause it right there.
I love that. That was actually good.
But he's right though.
He's absolutely right.
So I don't know how that's making fun of Javier exactly, but
I'm sorry, like I said, this was hard, man.
I want to make fun of Javier. I just
Oh my goodness! It's funny that this is supposed to be funny, but it ain't funny.
So in the last one, there were people that voted for Obama that voted for Trump. I wouldn't call them the left. They're probably like some fake ass liberals. Sure, they're not progressive, maybe, but
that's a true Scotsman fallacy.
All right, that's a fair critique. But either way, this one is Javier critiquing one of his own. Javier's a conservative.
Yeah.
I'm confused.
And what he's saying is not accurate about Candace Owens. I would argue that this is almost the case for conservatives in general. But
all right, let me finish this. This isn't going well, Brent. This isn't.
I didn't know
well.
this was all of me. Like, I thought we were all.
Well,
It's tough, man.
What I don't get. What's the funny part though?
The
You
funny
didn't
part
finish
is
the
listening
fucking
to this
clip.
bullshit.
All right, I'm gonna finish the
I
clip.
have a joke, but you have to finish the fucking clip.
Okay,
I
sorry.
mean, it's not really a joke, but it's more.
Here we go.
I'll give an example. On the Joe Rogan podcast, Candace Owens was asked about climate change. She completely was against the idea that climate change was a real thing, but she clearly didn't have a true understanding of what climate change was or what the science was saying about it. She just decided to go against
I don't.
the fact that climate change was a real thing.
I don't know. I don't know what to do with that.
Well, I mean, apparently Javier hasn't gotten. You got to say it twice. It hasn't gotten the memo that you got to be against climate change, man. Like that's the rules. You haven't gotten that memo?
I'm the one that write the memos, and I didn't send that out.
I got to be honest, Brent. I'm not getting it from the first two clips, but we got a third one coming up.
If you want to make a funny show, you could probably try to figure out why the hell Javier is a freaking conservative in the first place.
Well, let me try this one. Hold on. Here we go.
There's multiple videos of Donald Trump condemning white supremacy or saying that he doesn't. Yeah, but I mean, it was a lowball question. I mean, yeah. It was like Mike Wallace said, white supremacy bad, right?
Hold on. I recognize that voice.
Do you?
I recognize that voice.
Everybody should recognize that voice.
Hold on. Don't tell me. Don't tell me who it is. Hold on. That is so familiar.
I know you can feel
and
it.
he couldn't say, yes, white supremacy bad.
Yeah, it was just one of those things where it's like, it's a simple, I condemn white supremacy in all shapes, forms, and fashions, whichever way it shows its ugly head.
Right.
Simple.
I saw Ted Cruz do it just today on CNN.
David Silverman. Is that David Silverman?
Yeah, very good.
Oh, you thought that one in your synchro. Oh, Lord.
That's sick.
And it was real simple and clean, and it was very effective. And, I mean, do you think okay, how can Trump not be a racist if he can't take that low ball?
That is an interesting question, right? On face value, you could look at Trump and say, it's obvious Trump's a racist, but it's muddy water there.
I don't get it.
What? Hold on. Was the clips just supposed to be funny, or were we all supposed to make jokes about the clip, or at least talk about the clip? Like, I'm starting to get confused here.
Yeah, like the clips. The clips were supposed to be making fun of Javier, and then we back you up.
Oh,
Now
and
you
I'm
see why I
I'm
signed up. I mean, good luck
This is
finding
fun.
something.
Oh, there's plenty, my friend. There's plenty out there.
I thought he would have went to the episode with me and you, Robert, when we pranked that Christian.
That was hilarious. Did you see that one, Brent?
Was that the one where you kept talking when you weren't supposed to?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
shit?
And I like kept talking about balls,
That was hilarious.
and he was up.
Yeah, I guess I was confused about the premise. I'm sorry.
I
That's my-
didn't find those clips funny.
Well, I mean,
I thought he made a
it's
valid
hard,
point.
man.
That
Well, that's the
racism.
problem when you're talking with, dealing with political commentary on any level. You're going to be hard pressed to find comedy.
Just in the clip, you'd have to do something, say something afterwards, which I kind of had a bunch of stuff worked out, and I can't.
Fair enough. You guys want to hear something that's actually funny? This is Brent Lee. Well, I'm just saying, if you're gonna hate on Javier, you got to be able to take it.
An unapologetic atheist enterprise.
Ignore that voice.
Progressive response to the fucking internet.
All right, first off, why are you opening with "Everybody Dance Now"?
Oh my God!
Because Trump lost.
Oh.
Fuck Biden winning, but Trump lost. So that's the important thing.
I am envisioning lights and smoke.
Multicolored rubber bands on the wrist.
Some guy snorting cocaine in the corner.
I can do like the Crazy Gates with the with the lights. I can do that pretty good. Pretty cool.
What?
Bam, 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 bam,
What are you doing?
bam, 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 bam.
Hold
Hold on,
on.
it gets really good here.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, that was us. That was her voice, dude. Yeah, we did that. You're not allowed.
That was
to do
your
it with the
voice.
real song because you got to pay money. And
I like the dead air. After the dead air, you don't follow it up with like, all right, here we are. You just immediately just going, dead. No talking.
Damn, bam, 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 bam.
What?
yeah,
What are you doing?
I'm dancing right now. What are you talking about? That's fucking phenomenal. What? How you?
That's hilarious.
That's
It's not
awesome.
intentionally hilarious. It's almost as if we brought you on to make fun of Javier, but we secretly were planning on making fun of you.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured.
It's a weird. I'm getting a weird vibe like that might be the case.
I honestly thought that was like that. I was like, oh, he's gonna bring me on and do a whole switcheroo. I know. Rob.
You saw it coming.
I fucking know him. Yeah. I saw this whole thing in my mind played out several times.
Well, I mean, what?
Yeah.
I don't understand. What is that?
Don't be calling
Already,
them.
Y'all dance.
Yeah.
Should be ashamed of yourself, sir.
Is that him singing?
Yeah.
No, that's Nikki.
Oh, that's Nikki.
Yeah, she's singing. I'm doing the beat. Doom, 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 boom, doom, 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 boom, doom, boom. Okay, we guys are supposed to talk at some point. I mean,
You were looking. This is so cringeworthy.
trying to get the black guy to break dance, huh?
Yeah,
And those notes were on point. God damn it.
that was racist.
I was-
All right. In your defense, my early shit was pretty fucking embarrassing. And a lot of it was trying to do fundraiser stuff, and it was corny as shit.
You can choose to donate or even choose to adopt a pet because they have a really cool array of the pictures of the puppies and stuff. So
And if I'm reading
And
it
kitty
correctly
cats.
from your notes here, it's volunteer.
Yes.
You can volunteer to help out.
yes, you can.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Why, like my voice is different too. Like I'm trying to like have like a cutesy hubby voice.
That's cool.
Hey.
Yeah, what
Very
was that?
arena.
Fucking were you snorting helium?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I was
Sound a lot higher.
I was trying to do a bit, you know, like I'm the nice guy podcast guy. I don't know.
I know one story in particularly touched me. It was this beautiful baby girl, blue nose pit bull puppy, and
Puppy touched you.
yeah, it touched me.
Where
the
did the
story.
puppy touch you?
Are you serious?
We need to.
That is so fucking corny.
Oh my goodness.
Jesus.
And everybody knows.
I've listened to several different shows, like especially like you guys. I mean, of course, Robert and even even your show. I mean, and what are the guys from Canada that
Left of
they
the
have a
Valley?
show?
Oh, Left at the Valley, man.
Yeah,
that's a
Left of
great
the
show.
Valley. Like I listened to their first show, and I was like, okay, somebody break some glass so I can roll my balls on it. Okay, and then of course you listen to like the shows that they started, especially when they won first place for the best podcast, atheist podcast, I think for Canada. And dude, their show is fucking great.
I loved it. It was corny, but
I mean,
if Kevin were here, I'd still say it's corny, and he'd be like, "You're damn right it is." Like Kevin's a corny motherfucker. That's that's his bit.
right, it's corny.
Yeah, it touched me.
Where
the
did the
story.
puppy touch you?
Are you serious?
We need to put this puppy down. That is a
No.
bad puppy.
No.
That is way more cringeworthy than Brent shit.
It sounds like an infomercial. It sounds like
Oh
one of
my
those things that's trying to
God.
sell you knives late night. It's the corniest jokes, and it's like, oh my goodness, let me go to bed.
That is a bad puppy. What the fuck? What the fuck? All right, hold on. I got one more. This one's pretty rough.
It's Sunday, April 29th, and it's time for you lazy jabronis to wake the hell up and celebrate this.
I don't know. The fuck's a jabroni?
Mac from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Like
Jabronis.
it's like I'm trying to make it sound like we're just having fun over here at the Right to Reason. Like we're like it's exciting. That
Gotta take
is
tips from Javier on that, honestly. That's,
that is so bad.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna have some jabronis in the morning. It's gonna be fucking great, man. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
My fucking rib hurts. That was
Motherfucking jabroni right here. Doesn't even exist. Holy shit.
like I wanted to be a disc jockey.
How much coke did you snort?
that would have worked at a DJ thing. Like everybody would have been like, like, dude, they don't
Hold
love
on.
it.
I'm ashamed to say it gets worse.
Yeah.
Anniversary of the Right to Reason podcast. 52 episodes of one new one every week. Do the math, check your brake fluid, because we're already burning diesel. We got the episode.
That was clever.
No, what does that even mean? What does that even mean?
Yeah, it's funny in a good way because you're like, wow, maybe you should have said smoking diesel.
Check your brake fluid because we're burning
That's
diesel.
fucking awesome, dude.
I don't know what that
It
means.
takes for you to come up with that shit.
That was good.
Like I was trying to find something.
It sounds like, please listen to my podcast.
Please. It's so desperate. Oh, that is bad.
You, the listener, picked as your favorite a whole year of content to pull from. If this is what the Right to Reason family wants, this is what they get. This ain't no Olive Garden bullshit, motherfucker, because here, really, family.
Oh my God, you would be the perfect hype man.
Damn, bro.
I said, say Olive Garden because here we're really
Olive Garden.
family.
I hate him.
Goodness. Robert, that was you Was that you, or did an alien take over your brain?
It gets worse.
It's okay. This is a safe space. You can talk to us.
Now I need you bitches to rock your body.
Oh man, nice.
Was the Olive Garden reference to the endless breadsticks?
I'm thinking.
Y'all know I'm having a little fun here.
That is the fake laugh.
Gregoria talked you into
The
that.
fucking fake laugh. Hold on.
Totally talked you.
Y'all know I'm having a little fun here. But seriously, thank you guys for all the support this
That
year.
is
I really
horrible.
do believe that we are a family, and guess what? We're about to have a good time.
We're gonna have a good time.
Other than the music selection, I think you're being a bit hard on yourself. Honestly, I think you're doing great.
That's pretty bad.
Keep it up,
If
buddy.
that came on at the bowling alley, I would definitely jam.
That's pretty cringy. It's weird. Do you guys regret a lot of your earlier stuff? Like, do you find it embarrassing?
I regret things like 15 minutes after I fucking say them. What are you talking about?
I'm with you, bro. That's me too, man. But I open my mouth and I say the dumbest shit, especially at the worst possible time, man. For an example, I was at a funeral, and the father of my girlfriend at the time was the one who passed away. His wife, she was there, and she hands me a sippy cup, and I'm like, "What the fuck is this?" She's like, "Sip it." So I take a sip of the sippy cup, and it's fucking vodka, and I look her straight in the face in the front row of the fucking funeral.
No.
Everybody's standing there. I'm like, "Oh boy, that's gonna put the nail in the coffin."
No.
She fucking laughed right at me. She fucking laughed so hard. But like as soon as I said it, I'm like, "Okay, left brain, you need to take the right side of the brain and kick that motherfucker's ass," because I'm saying the
You
dumbest
said
shit
that's
ever.
gonna put the nail in the
It was just
coffin.
like, whoa, what the fuck is going on?
I had more clips that I was gonna make fun of you with, but I felt bad because you were such a good sport about it. So I was like, I'll just play some of mine.
Oh, thank you. No,
I would say this though.
How do you don't have any other clips of me being ridiculous? Because there's a lot of them.
Hey, at least he's honest, right?
But I would recommend anybody go to Unapologetics. The wife and I listen to it all the time. It's funny. I mean, if you actually think about it, that part that I played to make fun of you, it's corny as fuck, but it's kind of cute. Like, you guys are cute together. That's kind of cute. You guys are kind of cute. Anyway,
What's the difference between a Republican and a conservative? I've been trying to figure this one out.
Really? Is that a serious question?
Republican is a subset of conservative.
Not really. I guess Republicans see themselves as the conservative party that represents conservative values, but there are different schools of thought when it comes to conservatism. So that's the whole problem. Like, I'm a libertarian conservative, so it's not necessarily the same.
Yeah, I couldn't stand being in a room with full-on conservatives.
That's why I say it's a subset, because if you're willing to go, I'm a Republican, that means you're so conservative that you're willing to stamp that on your fucking political card as your
I
party.
don't know. Javier, aren't you guys more like the conservative dudes are like the progressives on the left, and the Republicans are like the Democrats on the left? You know what I mean? Like it's the title that's controlling you, that's using your agenda to try to get their political shit pushed forward for the corporations. The same way the Democrats, like Biden and Kamala, are, once again, I'm glad to be done with Trump, but still, Biden and Kamala are using the progressive and left-leaning agendas, the things we care about, to try to get their corporate donors the money that they want. Like, that's kind of how I see it.
Yeah, I see it from a social level to a political level. I think that whatever you identify as, if you're liberal, conservative, whatever you identify as, that should be how you live your life. Those are the morals, or those are the principles that guide you in your everyday decision making. When it comes to a political level, I think everybody is basically what's most important to me at that moment. And whichever party is pushing what you think is most important, you should go with that party.
I don't hear you talking about libertarian stuff as much anymore. I think this whole crazy Trump thing kind of broke your libertarian back to some extent. Is that fair?
Nah, hell no. I didn't even vote for Trump.
Oh, really? You went Jorgensen?
No, I didn't vote third or nothing. I didn't vote at all for
You didn't
the
vote?
presidency.
You motherfucker.
Son of a
Wow,
bitch.
just bowed out. Okay. I respect that. I'm glad that you did it.
Who'd you vote for, Brent?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Who'd you vote for, Brent?
I voted for Biden and then Democrat down ticket.
Jason, who'd you vote for?
I voted for Trump.
Really?
Honestly, I want to watch the world burn, man.
Who'd you really vote for?
Hold on a second. I'm gonna fucking puke. I voted for Biden and fucking Harris.
Wow.
Nice.
Really
cool.
I really didn't want to.
I know.
Really didn't want to. I don't know what the fuck they're gonna do. I don't even know if they have the backbone
They're
to
gonna do
fucking
nothing. Well, they'll do some stuff for climate change. His first day.
He wants to get back into the Paris
Yeah.
Accord. But you know what? I kind of like when Trump did that, I was like, okay, is he a climate denier or is he actually trying to save us money?
Well, maybe, but he said climate change is a myth created by the Chinese. I mean, he said it flat out. The guy, I mean, even if he doesn't believe it, he's at least a climate denier by definition.
I must have missed that lie.
Yeah, he really said it.
There's so many.
He said it. Yeah, he said the whole thing's a scam created by the Chinese.
He's obviously fucking delusional. He doesn't care about anybody but himself. So I don't doubt it for a second.
That's crazy.
But I know that there's talk from the Biden camp that they're looking to get back into the Paris Accord. But I mean, it's like, what does that entail? Are we going to play catch up now? How much fucking more money are we going to keep sending to every fucking body else before we fix our shit first?
Ooh, somebody sound like you should have voted for Trump.
I don't think you understand the Paris Agreement. The Paris Agreement is that you set your own goals in each of your own countries. You don't give any money to any other countries within this agreement at all. So I don't know.
But again, even if you're allowed to set your own standards, I mean, there's this. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look it up again because I think that the main reason why especially the Republicans were going around along with Trump saying that they didn't want to join the accord was because America was going to wind up spending money to try to level the playing field for everybody else. But
they don't want to spend the money on us. That's the problem. They don't want to spend the money here. It has nothing to do with us giving money to any other country. It's them not wanting to spend the money here to save our own planet.
It's how much are you going to...
They're going to sell the narrative that, we're like,
The Paris Accords won't accomplish anything. As long as you got people like China, India, Russia spewing out
especially if they're setting their own standards.
But China's part of the Paris Agreement.
They're in the agreement, though.
When has China ever really been a true partner when they sign up for anything?
You're right. They're full of shit. Enough. But I'm just saying they did set some pretty bold claims. Which that can I get you. China's full of shit.
Again, fair enough. Yeah.
But they're part of it. At least. I mean, it's just all the countries trying to figure out a way to stop this inevitable fucking problem that's coming.
It's all of us agreeing that this is actually a problem and not pretending like, it's a hoax or whatever the fuck else anybody can claim.
What's really crazy is I would have never guessed out of the four of us, Javier didn't vote. Jason voted Biden. That's the last thing I would have expected from you, Jason. And now Brent voting Biden, I could see that coming. But guess who I voted for? If you had to guess.
You did Trump all day. I get it.
I like all kidding aside, I voted Libertarian.
No. Oh, you fucker.
Yeah.
I thought we had this conversation.
I'm one of those, man. I'm one of the... here's my thing is, and when I say I'm one of those, I'm not a Libertarian. But I'll vote Libertarian simply because that was the only party that was actually addressing the Black Lives Matter movement, the Antifa movement, and I know you're rolling your eyes. You're like, how the fuck? No, they're the only ones requiring any change in the criminal justice system for the rights of the people.
Which is so odd for a libertarian party to do, isn't it?
I don't think so.
Isn't it just take care of yourself, fucking figure it out, bro? Get your fucking bootstraps going.
But they were the only party not licking boots.
At some point, man, you have to take responsibility for your own ass enough where then you can start taking care of other asses, man.
I mean, fair enough, but
you're lobbying the government to be like, hey, we should do something about this problem. Like, what? Government? No, you don't believe in a government. Why are you asking them for shit? You know what I mean? That's like what my understanding.
I am shocked at the understanding of libertarianism, conservatism, being a liberal. All the conceptions that we have of these labels are just so wrong. And
they're media driven. But you have to admit
libertarian
this.
and still believe in government.
Brent
what is government's role?
Well, like for a right libertarian, for example, it's a very limited scope of government for like certain, functions in society. But it's not like the government shouldn't be deciding on where you can go to school and can't go to school, for example, of that sort. But I don't think they just want anarchy. In that case, they would just call themselves anarchists.
And caps. But Brent was right about how, and you got to admit this, Javier, you saw a lot of bullshit libertarians through this Trump thing, and that's what I was accusing you of. But maybe that wasn't fair. But there was a lot of them.
I was for Joe Jurgensen, and then when I finally got in the booth and started voting for all the other people, I just said, "Fuck that shit."
all the libertarians became
wasted vote.
Fucking bootlickers after the BLM and Antifa thing. It was total bullshit. But their actual platform, I agree with, aside from the stuff that's totally impossible. Like, the stuff like, let's get rid of the education system. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, let's get rid of public transportation. It's like you're not going to accomplish any of those things. But that was the only party that was actually talking about the thing I gave a fuck about at the time. And that whole, you're going to vote for whoever we put in front of you because you're scared of the bad man. You did that shit to me 4 years ago. I didn't fall for it then. I'm not going to fall for it now. I am not on your team. That should get you right to where we left off, but that's not how it ended.
There is a part of the black culture that most of them.
And you're using it as an argument to taint an entire community and where they live.
Not at all. Not at all. Yeah, exactly. Only part of that community. But you hear about that part of the community. Why? Because in order to deal with the ramping violence in the community has to get more police with less training, and that causes more problems than it fixes.
But let's say, instead of taking the route of let's use authoritarianism to fix something that's broken, what if we say, yes, there is a high amount of violence and a glorification of violence within the black community? What if Brent and I don't know if I can speak for Brent on this one, so Brent, correct me if I'm wrong, but what if we can give you that, but also say you have to admit that that's also systemic? And at the same time, if you can admit that that's systemic and that's not their fucking fault, then maybe we can find some kind of common ground. I'm not saying people aren't responsible for their behavior. I'm not saying if you break the law, you shouldn't go to jail. I'm just saying if we can look at this and say maybe increasing police isn't the way to solve this problem. Maybe we go back to the actual fucking illness instead of trying to treat the symptom. Is that a possibility that we could actually find common ground?
Look, I'm totally down with taking money from the police department because they don't need fucking personnel vehicles and shit like that.
Yeah.
Armored vehicles and stuff, and putting that towards the community for like community centers or places where for kids maybe to actually after school activities so that the gangs can get on them all the time or whatever. I mean, I'm totally down for that.
That's literally defund the police. That's what it is.
No,
that's
it's
what
not.
Defund the police
It's
is.
it's one thing to say defund the police. Okay, it's another to say abolish the police.
Right.
My whole thing was I'm not abolishing the police.
Yeah.
I'm totally fine with taking the money from the police and putting it toward the community. And I know that's what people are doing, but you'll still literally find people out there talking about abolishing the police altogether in their communities.
A lot of the times, the problem is not how we word things. A lot of that is virtue signaling. When you talk about defund the police or talk about funding education or whatever these things is, what really matters at the end of the day is we look at solutions that actually work versus the ones that don't work. And it baffles me that we find solutions that do work, but it doesn't give the right virtue signal. It's not a police versus a black people's situation. Is more likely a bias in police being humans who look out for one another and allow each other to get away with certain things. The question is, how do you cure human nature? Because in any situation, just like the no snitch rule in the black community, that's about the in group versus out group. How do you fix that
That's what I'm saying, man. Is like, can we at least admit the way that our current judicial system is trying to address crime within the black community is wrong, and that's what this whole movement's about? I think that's something that all four of us can agree on.
The majority of it, yeah.
Sure.
We could agree on the same thing, but we could describe it totally different. For example, I think something's wrong with the system when it comes to the war on drugs. I don't think that's unique to the black community. It's just disproportionately hurts the black community because black people tend to be at the lower scale of society, which they're more likely to take on certain lifestyles to survive.
So more likely to be the canaries in the coal mine, right? Because this shit, you're absolutely right, hurts all the white communities too. All the poor white communities are the same way. You're absolutely right. Keep going. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so we shouldn't be distinguishing between black versus white. We should be distinguishing between those people who all have something in common who end up in the same situation. If it happens to help a lot of black people in the process, that's a great thing. But how you phrase these situations, it determines the narrative, and that narrative drives whether it's going to be a left versus right, a white versus black, and that's where you run into problems.
Fair enough. And here's the point. After somehow, once again, I don't know how this show fucking happened like this, but after all of this,
gonna be called?
After we're literally,
it's my fault.
It was Jason's fault. After we're literally yelling over top of one another, we all ended up pretty much agreeing on the main point. The things that we were actually arguing about to start with are things we saw on the news, things that we were told about from other people, but they weren't actually about the topic. The topic itself, we all agree. Yeah, there's some fucked up shit. We got to make changes.
I'll say it again, man. We are going to have the hardest time living in it because this process of figuring this shit out, it's hardest on us because we're coming out of it now. We're realizing that, this is totally fucked up, no matter, at every fucking level almost. The systemic racism, the way the government abuses that systemic racism. You know, I mean, like Robert, you had asked a question one time on your page, like, you know, when I say systemic racism, what do you think of? And I immediately went to the privatizing of prisons. Immediately. Mm-hmm. I mean, you know, and that's a topic that I'll go to anytime somebody wants to talk. Oh, it's just there's no such thing as systemic racism. Bullshit.
You're absolutely right.
And I've heard this from people like Sam Harris. I've heard it from a number of other people too. That today people do not do what we're doing right now. I mean, we're sitting around here and we're talking. We're engaging that moral dilemma. But there are so many people that don't want to fucking deal with even looking at it. Because they, for whatever reason,
it's uncomfortable. That's why.
Of course, it's uncomfortable. But so, I mean, really, is uncomfortable? Is that your excuse for not engaging in the moral?
It's not just that. It's not just that, man.
That's most people's excuse. Yeah.
Yeah. It should be who needs help. If you are poor, we don't want you to be poor. If you are homeless, we don't want you to be homeless. If that happens to be 60% black people and 30% white people, it doesn't matter. Help those people who need help.
Right. That's awesome, man.
4 different people from 4 different worldviews started with laughter, became argumentative, and then ended with some common ground there. Unapologetics. Make sure that you go with the X, not the CS on the end. Whenever you type that into YouTube, it'll say, did you mean unapologetics spelled this way? No, it's spelled uniquely. Go with the X one. Check it out. Brent and Nikki are the cutest couple ever. Javier show. Fantastic broadcast. I enjoy it. Even though we disagree on politics, I still watched most every one of your episodes, man. Jason Hannerfeld, you're still on SoundCloud, is that correct?
Yes.
Just type in Jason Hannerfeld.
Jason Hannerfeld.
Yeah, just type that in there.
Field, it's just FELD at the end. Hannerfield.
Guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Right.
All right.
"2020 has been a rough year, so thank you to Brent, Javier, and Jason for showing us that as long as we keep talking to one another and keep listening, we can find our much-needed common ground. Something to think about going into the next year. Thank you to Dave Blair at DaveBlairMusic.com. Thank you to Feedspot.com for promoting the Right to Reason to the top 10 atheist podcasts. Thank you to our patrons. Jason Parker, Alan Marks, Itchy and Scratchy. They want you to support the Secular Coalition for America and Camp Quest. Philip Spawn, Bernard Lamberell, Enema Man, Larry Wilson, and our largest patron, Rob Montgomery. You can support this broadcast at patreon.com/right and learn more at therighttoreason.com. Between now and next year, remember to keep talking to one another. Remember to keep listening, and remember that you have the right Teresa.